So, how to configure Gmail and Google Calendar in Rentman. It's done for each user. So we go to Setup and we go to User Preferences. And under Email, we've got Email Interface. And here I've got it already set to Gmail from a long list of other options. Gmail. So you save, and all this other information, server, username, password, is not needed because the authorization process we're about to go through does all that for you. The only thing you might want to configure at this point is over here on Receive. How often do you want Rentman to go and fetch from your Gmail inbox and import emails into the journal? When it does the import, it will try and match the sender's email address with whatever addresses you've got for tenants, applicants, landlords, etc., and add them to that journal. You can also tick here to import when it doesn't recognize a sender's email address, but the default is to have that unticked because it's assumed that's just private emails, not relevant to Rentman. If you did have that ticked, emails that were imported like that would be down here under Journals, Emails with Unknown Sender. Anyway, we've set up the email interface as Gmail. Every 30 minutes it's going to fetch from your inbox. Now, whether you are emailing from a print preview screen or from emailing a management statement from the management screen, or as I'm about to do here, you're explicitly sending an email from a button such as this. Here's a landlord, email setup, email, and the email client pops up. So we type test, we type blah, blah, blah. And because we're configured to use Gmail, we've got Google's logo here, and we press send. Now, when we press send, over here on my other monitor, Google has prompted in a browser like this. Choose an account. So we're going to log in with my Google account name. Now, in the real world, when you get to see this, Google will have verified the app and this step isn't necessary. But for now, we're just going to go to Rentman. And Google is going to prompt you to allow access. Now, Rentman requires to view your email messages so that it can import them into the journal. Obviously, at the moment, we're trying to send email on your behalf, but also for Google Diary, Google Calendar rather, we need full access because we're going to be creating appointments, we're going to be downloading appointments, we're going to be updating existing appointments, and so forth. So full access. And we click allow. Now, once I do the allow, successful, we go back to Rentman. You can see the email's gone and it'll appear in my inbox over on the obviously simple as that. Once Rentman has gone through that authorization process, it has remembered a token, and that token is good for a while until it gets revoked, basically. And that means when we come now to do an appointment, I'm going to create an appointment for this applicant at this property today at 1300. I'm going to save that. Now, we can configure Rentman to synchronize automatically. When we go back to the user preferences over here under Diary, under Google, we've got synchronize every 30 minutes again. This option, when I try and download events from Google Calendar, I'm likely to get bank holidays and the like for years into the future, which is slow. Even ignoring them is slow. So we limit it here, and I only download for 2 weeks into the future. But you can change that if you want to. Now, because we've just done that email process, Rentman has remembered the token. And if you remember, it prompted for full access to your Google Calendar at the same time, which means that when I click here, Rentman can go and read from your Google account already. We don't have to go back through the authorization process, and I can choose my Google Calendar that I want to synchronize with. Click Save. Now we could wait 30 minutes for it to launch a background process to do it, or I'm going to press sync now. And whatever happens, it runs as a background process, so you continue using Rentman while you're you can continue using Rentman while you're working, and we will see over here on the other screen, if I bring it across, here is today, and you can see Rentman has uploaded the appointment for me. The address where we're meeting, and then Rentman's added some additional information, the applicant's telephone number and email, the property, a little bit about the property information you're visiting, and also the landlord's telephone number will be there. Things you might need while you're out on the road. Now, you could be using Rentman online for this, and you'd have access to all that information anyway on your iPad or phone, whatever you're using, but if you're synchronizing to Google Calendar, you're probably looking at it there. That's it. Now, one further thing to say, if you're adding, Rentman will download any appointment that you add directly into Google, but beware, because it'll go into Rentman's diary, but it'll be an orphan, because Rentman won't be able to match it to the landlord, the property, the applicant, or the tenant in question. So it's always best to enter your information directly into Rentman and let Rentman upload to Google. Okay, that's it. Thank you.